So today we're going to be showing you how we're pruning our jujube trees. That's up next. Hello everyone, this is Dwayne with Edge of Nowhere Farm, and we're coming to you here towards the end of January in 2024. So one of the unique trees that we grow here in Arizona that does really well for us are jujubes. Now, we've shown you our jujube harvest before. In fact, the tree that's behind me now is the ant admire. We have some footage of this tree when it's producing. It's a wonderful producer for us, just a beautiful tree, and it does amazing for us. Today though, we're gonna actually be showing you how we prune in order to get a harvest from this tree. We'll be using my Corona pruners. You guys have seen these many times before. They're bypass pruners, so again, the blade bypasses the anvil, makes a nice clean cut. We will be using these today. My main tool is actually gonna wind up being my loppers. You'll see me using these today. I do have glasses on, and you'll notice that I have different gloves on. So these are leather gloves. One of the big differences with jujube trees, these guys have sometimes some massive thorns on them. They're loaded throughout the branches, and they are wicked. So I've got a long sleeve shirt on today, pants, glasses to protect my eyes, and some leather gloves on. Let's take a look at this tree and see how we're gonna prune it. So one of the major differences you'll notice right away with this tree is how we have them growing and the pruning style we're gonna be using. You guys know when it comes to a lot of our fruit trees here, especially our stone fruit, our pome fruit, and some of our mulberry trees, we prune them with an open center, which helps us with the production of the tree and also the harvesting. Now, these trees really lend themselves towards more of a central leader design, which is what you're going to be seeing us pruning it into today. So a central leader design simply means you have a single trunk that goes all the way up, continues to grow vertical. We want these trees nice and tall. And then in several areas of the tree, you'll have horizontal branching that's evenly spaced, really throughout that tree. So you're going to be seeing us today pruning to that shape. But first things first, let's go ahead and get to pruning. I need to clean up the bottom of this tree so I can get underneath, and I don't want anything pointing down at the ground. So I'm here underneath this tree. I'll be honest, it's a little nerve-wracking because I'm surrounded by spikes. You know, it reminds me of my favorite tree, a Palo Verde. Used to prune those things when I was living in the city, hated those things. Lots of spikes just like this. But wanted to talk about this branch right here. Now, one of the things about these trees, they're beautiful trees. They grow with kind of this contorted look. So the branches go every which way. They'll roll in on themselves, they'll point straight down, they'll point straight back into the tree. Beautiful looking trees when they're dormant like this, but we get a lot of branching that crosses really bad, which this one's doing, and it's growing almost vertical up against the trunk. So while I'm in here and it's easy for me to see, the first thing I'm gonna do after getting the bottom cleaned up, I need to remove all these branches that are growing vertically inside the tree to get those out of the way. Right, Theo? Here? Is that where I need to cut, or right here? I'll cut right here, okay, bud? Watch out. So we talked a little bit about the central leader design that we're using on these trees. So I have my main trunk here, and starting down here at the bottom of the tree with my oldest horizontal branching, I'm looking at some even spacing here as best I can. As crazy as these trunks grow, they can be fairly close together, but I've got this one heading this direction and this one's heading that way. So, but really I want to make sure I've got some spacing between each set of these horizontal branching. So I'll be doing that next before I come back to do my detail work. So I'm thinking as we go, I'm thinking like this one, obviously we want coming out this way. We could do the terminating buds here to make sure it's growing this way. So I think I'm just gonna lose this and then have that one there.
Okay.
So we got this one here. The question is, this one seems to be doing pretty good. So I'm thinking lose the bottom portion,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
That way that's going that way. So I've got this, 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 so we're kind of evenly spaced.
Okay.
I think this might be too soon to go above there. So losing that one.
You have the one above it.
And we got the one above it, yeah. So the question is, this one's probably too close.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that goes. We got that there. I'll leave him for now. That's good. That's good. That's probably a little too vertical, huh?
There's one right next to it going straight out, so you can cut that one off.
Okay, good. So one of the things that we've learned when it comes to pruning jujubes, and we're trying for the first time this year, is paying attention to where we're making cuts at these terminal buds. So I've got a terminal bud here, you can see had some growth from last year. Got a branch right above it and a branch below here. So the key when you're pruning these is you want to make sure you're making 2 pruning cuts. So as opposed to making a cut here and trying to induce this one to continue to grow, it won't necessarily do that. So what we're looking at doing is we want to leave a couple of buds at the end of this terminal bud. So we're actually going to be making a cut on 2 separate branches. So we have 2 buds at the end of each one of these terminals. So that will induce the tree to continue to grow, which is what we want. So I'm going to go ahead and make these cuts here at a bud here and a bud right here. Now I have 2 buds at the terminal. That should give me growth because I need this branch to continue heading this direction. So what we're going to do now is do the exact same thing around the whole tree. I got this bud. That should stimulate growth out of there. I got this and this, that and that, so I gotta get this one. So I got bud. And I don't know if that counts. Okay, so that should grow out of here. So this tree here, I think it's pronounced Shanxi, but I'm not exactly sure, but a Shanxi Li. So this tree, some pretty serious spikes, but the way this started growing right from the very beginning really lent itself towards being an open center. So we're gonna try something a little bit different with this. We did have to cut this back in the middle of summer. It was bending over too much. So again, more of an open center. So let's see how this one does from a production and growth standpoint as compared to the other 3 jujube trees that we have. All right, so the pruning of the jujubes is done for the season. Now, like we said, we've had these trees in the ground for a few years now. This is the first time we've really done some detailed pruning on these trees. You know, it's a new tree for us and fairly new here in the United States, but I know a lot of you guys out there, especially around the world, you've grown these trees probably for generations. So if you have some suggestions for us, let us know how we did here, maybe how we could do it a little bit different next time to make sure come spring and especially this summer, we have some wonderful jujube fruit ready to go. So just want to thank you for joining us today. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel. We cover a lot of things here on this newly established functioning farm in the Arizona desert and would love to see you on a regular basis. If you have any questions or comments, those go in the comment section down below. And our Amazon shop, I'll leave a link down in the description. That's a free, painless way to help support the channel. If you start with the link down below, it doesn't matter what you buy, you help to support us here. So just want to thank you for joining us today and remind you, if we can farm on the edge of nowhere, so can you. Hello everyone, this is Dwayne with Edge of Nowhere. Alright, we're done. Hey buddy.
Never mind.
Hey buddy. Now you can scratch me all you want, you can't get through these gloves. So leave your popcorn at home. Today we're going to be pruning jujubes. How about that? I can't help but reference Jujube the candy.
I know.
What do you say, Cleo? Can I move, or? She just looked at me like, no, you can't. Not till I'm ready.
Don't you dare.
Okay. We'll be right back. So now we talked a little bit about the open center design. I'm working in
It's not an open center.
It's not an open center design.